This episode is brought to you by Energy Outreach Colorado. Energy Outreach Colorado is a statewide nonprofit helping income-qualified Coloradans pay their energy bills. They support hardworking families facing tough choices between paying utilities and buying essentials like food. Programs range from utility bill assistance to emergency furnace repair to community solar and energy efficiency work. Learn how Energy Outreach Colorado is creating affordable energy solutions for Coloradans at energyoutreach.org. That's energyoutreach.org. This episode is brought to you by the Vail Wine Classic. Head up to the mountains for this beautiful celebration of international wines and spirits, as well as Colorado's home favorites like Carboy Winery, Outer Range Brewing, and Woody Creek Distillers. Going down August 6th through the 8th, this big wine event features programming such as sommelier-led wine hikes, paired lunches and dinners at Vail's top restaurants, and an exclusive sunset showcase called Best of Fest, featuring 90-plus rated wines overlooking the Gore Range. Ticket prices go up as it gets closer to August, but you can save money right now by buying sooner. Just use code CITYCAST to check out for $10 off. For tickets and a full schedule, visit vailwineclassic.com. And don't forget to use code CITYCAST for $10 off. Hey Denver, Bree here. At the end of today's episode, we've got a sponsored segment with Elizabeth Martinez of Compass Real Estate, who's going to join me to explore the Harvey Park neighborhood, from its history to what it's actually like to live in one of Denver's most charming mid-century communities, and what homes in the area are going for right now. Brought to you by Compass Real Estate.
Hey, before we get started today, I've got a warning for you. This episode contains some explicit language. Welcome to CityCast Denver. I'm Paul Caroli, and here's what Denver's talking about. Johnny and Kasie Curiel, welcome to CityCast Denver.
Thanks for having us, Paul.
Thank you.
Well, I am so happy to be talking to you. I've been trying to make this thing happen for a few years since y'all started exploded onto the scene. And today we happen to have the perfect news peg for this conversation because I just read this morning 3 restaurants downtown have closed in the last week. It's one up in Lodo, Rock Bottom, Church and Union. And we hear this from restaurateurs all the time. Yet you two have a very different story. In the last 3 years, you've opened, by my count, 6 restaurants, soon to be 7 in Austin. So this interview is basically one question. How have you done it? How are you doing it when everyone else says it's so hard to do this in Denver right now?
Oh man, I don't think anybody's lying about it. It's not easy to have a restaurant and operate a restaurant in this state currently. But we've been fortunate. I think we've been fortunate to surround ourselves with the right people. We've had great teams. I think we've had people that have supported us and are really pushing for what we're doing. They come into the restaurants. They're excited about what we're doing. So no, I mean, it is really hard, and not everything's rainbows and great things happening, right? Like it's difficult.
Oh, I'm sure. You
have to put your head down. You have to listen to your guests. You have to pivot. You have to make decisions, and that's what it is. I mean, it's we've been fortunate. Like I said, it's not luck, because luck doesn't just come to you, but it's been a lot of hard work, and also, like I said, pivoting and making sure that like you're not egotistical, that you're not like, hey, this has got to work and this is going to work. It's got to be a lot of like talking to the team, listening to the guests, listening to your teams, and what you can do better, what you can do different. And I think that's what we've done right now.
Well, that's incredible. And I want to talk to you about a million of those decisions. I have so much here, but I think the people that you've surrounded yourself with most closely is each other. And I don't know if anyone's ever asked you about this, but I want to know how you two met and like what your relationship is like. You're married and you work together.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that one of the 2 big things of how we've grown so quickly is because of our partnership and our relationship. I mean, every decision we make is together and it's quick, and we don't have to go to investors or go to other people and ask questions or approval. So I do think being together as a married couple has helped us do things rather quickly. How we met, Johnny and I worked for the Hillstone Houston's restaurant group for 9 years, which was a really long time. And Johnny took a different...
We're going to talk about that.
All right. Oh, great. I have all the
Go on.
great things to say. And Johnny took a different path, which I super admire, and worked for so many different groups. And then when I finally left Hillstone, was like, all right, I have to learn something different and do something different. I started a brand with someone locally called My Neighbor Felix. And anyways, that's a long story in itself. But Johnny and I met through that. He interviewed for the director of culinary position for My Neighbor Felix. And, he was like a clear great hire. And within the first couple of weeks, we were like, oh no, together. And then we worked together for months and we were like, wow, we could do this on our own. Like, why aren't we doing this on our own? What's stopping us? And the rest is history. We, quit our jobs. We're looking for a brick and mortar space. We opened a catering company in the meantime out of a 400 square foot kitchen, which was just a lot of fun and led to some great stories. But, then we were looking for our first space, and after, real estate agents and trying to find spaces and people thinking we were too young and all the things, we found the space that Alma's in now. And it was... Which
is a gorgeous space over on right just near Platt Street.
Yeah, 15th.
I don't know if people had thought about that strip as such a dining destination before, but you all saw something in that space.
We loved it.
I think when you think about that space, you definitely think about dining destinations, right? Think about Lola. Lola 15, 20 years ago was the place to be at, and we're a block away from where Lola was. Think about Linger. Think about, everything. Bardot. You think about Uncle. You think about... So like, to say that it wasn't a dining destination, oh man, that's way off. It's like, it is. Lohi has been unbelievable. Justin Brunson had his restaurant there. Like, Lohi has always been a destination, and there's no secret on why we wanted Lohi. That a lot of people paved that for us, and today we're fortunate that we're part of Lohi. But a lot of people put in a lot of hard work to make Lohi what it is today.
There you go. Lola before my time, I have to say. But Johnny, what's your side of that story? Kasie was like, you all kind of maybe formed this personal relationship and professional relationship at the same time, it sounded like. What's that to you?
Yes. That's the bottom line of it. We met, we worked. I think when we were working together and we were not emotional, it was, I think when you're working with somebody and you look at them and you respect them and you understand their path and you understand that they know what they're doing, there's not just that connection of like, hey, like they're good at what they do, right? You become more interested and you become more leaning to be like, oh, I want to spend more time with them. I want to talk to them. I want to go to lunch with them. I want to like pick their brain. And I think that's honestly what it was. I think that she was amazing at what she did. And she continues to be the force behind Fonda Fina hospitality. And that was something that if you don't find that attractive and somebody being a badass, it's like, all right, I don't know what you're doing. But I think that's what it was. I found that super attractive. She found that attractive. And that's how everything started. I think we both knew where we wanted to go. We both knew what we wanted to do. And it led us to creating our own group.
Was there a first dish that you two shared where you like synced up on like how you were thinking about it and like what it meant? And yeah, Kasie, was there a first dish?
No, absolutely not. There wasn't a first dish, but I remember Johnny doing his first tasting, and trying his food and being like, oh my God, and I feel like that was the moment that it was like, for him to really be able to excel, he had to be able to do whatever he wanted to do. Like he's the creator. So it couldn't be, and we still at that time, we're working for somebody else. So there was still another, right? There was three of us and one of those people were not me or him. And so there was another person making decisions. And that's what led us to be like, we can't do this. He has to have all the creative freedom that obviously he has deserved for years prior to that, right? So there was no specific dish, but just his first tasting, I remember being like, oh my God, like, where's this guy been hiding?
Do you remember what the bite was? Was it the sweet potato?
It wasn't.
No.
And it wasn't the sweet potato. He couldn't give that away to somebody else. No.
Oh, I see.
No, it was like a 4 or 5 plate tasting. I remember a fish taco specifically that I won't get into, but no, there was multiple items. Enchiladas. There was a fish taco, guacamole. We were trying to redo some menu items.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, you've referred to this third person, and I think who you're talking about is Francois Safiaddine, who is the business owner behind My Neighbor Felix and a bunch of other clubs and restaurants. Now, I don't know how much you two would want to get into it because I know that this relationship ended up in litigation. There was a non-compete clause that I think Kasie, the Denver Post reported that you signed. He sued over when you all split off to do Alma, Fonda, Fina. It's still unclear to me what the dispute was about. So that would be my question for you about it, if you want to talk about it. Johnny?
I'll talk about it real quick. We wish Francois the best and their brands, and that's the end of it.
Well said.
Fair enough.
There you go.
Fair enough. We'll put some links in the show notes if people want to read up on it, but it's been covered a few years ago. It just sounds like such a dramatic moment, though, like the way your relationship came together, and then Francois with this other side of the business. And then I didn't really understand it until I saw a quote from a friend of yours, past guest of the show, Michael Diaz de Leon, who's now the brilliant chef behind Molino Cheeto at Stanley Marketplace. He was referring to this legal dispute, and he said that you two were, quote, literally putting their lives on the line to follow their dreams. And that quote kind of knocked me down. Johnny, what did he mean? What was he talking about?
I mean, I think when you drop everything that you have, right? I mean, you look back at where we were 3-4 years ago, you have a secure job, you're working a dream job for most people, right? You're a director of culinary. Kasie's the vice president of operations. We put money aside, but you're stable with the money. And then you say, you know what? I am going to go and open a 900 square foot restaurant to really cook what I want to cook, to really do hospitality the way that we want to do it, to really show people and bring awareness to how badass Mexico is, right? True, authentic Mexican food. And I think that's what Michael was referring to. It's like we dropped everything that we had. We dropped our jobs. I will never forget April 10th. We didn't have a job. We don't have a building. We don't have lifetime savings to be like, oh my God, you have everything in the world, right? Like you'll be fine. We don't have family in Denver. We don't have money from family either, right? You don't have anything. It's just us two trying to figure it out. And I think that's what Michael meant. It's like this couple drops what they're doing. They put their life on the line, because if you make it, great, right? Everybody cheers and everybody applauds and they're like, oh yeah, they made it, good job. But if you don't make it, it's just a story of like you left something that you had great, and I'm not saying the job was great, but I'm saying you were already at one point of your career that it's great, and then you take this leap of faith and then it doesn't work. And I think the one thing that was the biggest thing for us was that it was like, we're trying to bring awareness. We're trying to open a restaurant that we really believe in. We're trying to share this with the world. And what's the worst thing that can happen? It doesn't work, but you tried it and you're like, hell yeah, I tried it. Most people won't ever take that leap. Most people won't ever say, hey, you know what, I'm going to do this. And you try it and then you fail, which failing is not a bad thing. You learn and then you come back stronger, or you fail and then you go back into finding another job and then you succeed at that job. So I think that's what Michael referred to. And Michael's a really good friend of ours. We spend a lot of time with Michael, but it's like, I think at that moment, Michael was going through the same thing. He was ready to open his own restaurant. He was going to open Molino or anything else. Yeah. So I think
he left a place. He won a Michelin star at his old restaurant, and then had a dispute with the owner of the chain and ended up leaving.
Yeah, that I don't know about the dispute, to be honest, but I knew he was leaving to open a restaurant. So it was like, hey, he believed in himself, just like we believed in ourselves, just like Manny Varela believed in himself, just like many other people are doing right now. And I think he said one thing that it was true. It's like, now it's the time that we make our seat at the table, right? Or if we can't make our seat at the table, we make our own fucking table and we go ahead and do it. So I think we, at this point, we can say that we've created a table for everybody, for not only us, but like there's so many small restaurateurs or small business owners or young business owners per se. Like I feel like the new wave and the new generation is coming on, and it's like, hell yeah, let's do it. Let's make sure that like we have each other's backs. Let's make sure that we push towards each other. What do I know today that could be helpful to somebody opening a restaurant tomorrow? What do they know? And everybody, I mean, I can tell you 99% of the people in Denver, restaurateurs, old mentors of mine, Troy Gard, Dave Query, all those guys, they have done nothing but amazing things for us. They have, even when we went through litigation, my first call was Dave Query. And he said, I got you. Don't worry. I think we were more worried about like, hey, our dream is over. And everybody was like, fuck that. Like, let's go. Like you got something. So it was awesome. Everybody rallied behind.
This episode is brought to you by Denver Health. Summer in Denver is incredible. The trails, the camping, the backyard projects, for me, weeding constantly. But with all of that comes the occasional bump, stick, or tick bite that needs attention fast. That's where Denver Health Urgent Care comes in. Whether it's heat exhaustion after a hike, a sprain from the trail, or an insect bite that just doesn't look right, Denver Health Urgent Care is ready for whatever summer throws at you. With multiple convenient locations across Denver and virtual care available 7 days a week, getting the care you need has never been easier. And with summer sports leagues in full swing, Denver Health Urgent Care is ready for the sprains, strains, and sports injuries that come with the game, for kids and adults alike. Denver Health also has the only 24-hour pediatric urgent care in Denver, because kids don't exactly wait for business hours. Denver Health is with you for life's journey. Learn more at denverhealth.org/summer. That's denverhealth.org/summer. Kasie, I've always been curious about the money side. I've asked you all through your PR representative before, where does the money come from? 6 restaurants in 3 years is a lot of money to start up.
Totally.
But I was told you didn't have any investors or backers. It's just you two. So how'd you do it?
Yeah. And I was going to say, I think also what Michael meant is when we opened our first restaurant at Alma, we couldn't get a loan at the time, right? We were too young kids. We weren't able to do that. So I also think that's what Michael meant. But we sold a house. We took everything we had from that and put it into Alma. So that's why we were also like, all right, we're doubling down here. Like, hopefully this works, And then, because we didn't have loans, we put all of our cash and everything we had into that, and also maxed out credit cards at the time. We were then able to take those profits that, started coming in and put them into the second restaurant, and then those 2 profits and put them into the third restaurant. So I feel like we just kept taking everything and saving everything and putting it into the next restaurant. We finally, for our restaurant in Charleston, South Carolina, which is number 8, we finally got a loan. It was our first one. We were like, I was like, this is unfamiliar territory. It was really an exciting process for us, but there is no magic secret. I mean, we just saved everything that we had and put it all in. I mean, I think when we opened Alma, our first payroll, I was like, man, I hope we can make this payroll. I mean, we were really tight at the end, but high risk, high reward, like Johnny said, and thank goodness it paid off.
I think at the end of the day, everybody looks at the story now and they're like, oh, 6 restaurants, 7 to be, 8 to be. But honestly, I'm sure, or I don't know if you've ever sat at a blackjack table when you win a hand and then you double it down and then you win a hand that's honestly what we've done. Like, everything could go bad tomorrow and everything that we've invested goes bad. And it's like, we continue up till today. We continue to take those risks. Everything that we do is still it's not like we're sitting flush on so much money that we're like, oh, let's keep opening. No, whenever, and it's funny because whenever the opportunity comes, and it seems like it's always come at the right time, it's like, well, we have a little bit saved. Let's put it back in there. Oh, we have a little bit saved. So it's
after 6 months of the last place?
Basically.
Oh my God. It's just incredible. I wonder about how personal these restaurants are for you all so far. You all believed in each other. Johnny, obviously your food is, fantastic. It's been decorated many times, and you've talked about how personal it is to you. As you grow to soon to be 8 restaurants, you've talked about having great people around you. 3 years is not a lot of time to build new relationships with new people to staff up all those restaurants all across the country, Charleston, Austin. How are you thinking about that question of scale and that specialness that you two have at the core?
I think if you think about people, and I always talk about people, right? Because without people, we wouldn't be here. But I'm a firm believer that badass people surround themselves with badass people and want to work with badass people. And that's honestly how we've gotten to grow. When we opened Alma, it was about 12 of us. And then the next restaurant that we opened, the friend of the friend wanted to work for that restaurant. So the same people that you have surrounded yourself with and that you became really close with started to bring in people. And then those people brought in people, and those people were like, hey, you're a good fit for here. You should apply. So now it's different, right? Because now we go to Austin, Texas, and Austin, Texas is an amazing city. It's we traveled there before we even knew we were going to open a restaurant there. And came down to people too. There's many people that had approached us about doing a restaurant, about going out of state, about going to Miami, about going everywhere, right? And never were the people right for us. Never was the brand right for us. And then we had a great call with the one hotel, and that is the one partnership that we have. And it will be a partnership. It's the one hotel, and they're located, or the new hotel is going to be in Austin, Texas. And we talked to Nicholas DeMasi, we talked to Lena, we talked to Fernando, which are the core of Starwood hotels. And it was like, man, like you guys talk about people, feel people, food, business, hospitality, the same way that we like live it. And it was like, that's the people that we would want to partner up with. And we did. Austin, Texas. I mean, if anybody's seen that hotel, we didn't build that hotel. It's a partnership, and they're the backers behind it. That they're operators there, and like it's a great partnership. But again, it comes down to people, and we hire the chef for Austin, for example, Reeve, and the chef is like, hey, I work with this really badass sous chef, and I think you should talk to him. And it's like a domino effect. It's like, yeah, have you made some bad hires in your life? 100%. Everybody does. I think it's hard not to, especially when you're growing.
Of course.
But the one thing is that, like, I still believe it. It's like everybody that is great wants to be with somebody that's great and wants to work with somebody great. I don't think any chef or line cook or GM or bartender has ever been like, you know what, I'm going to be the best at this. It's okay if I work with somebody that's not as good. I'm going to pick up the slack. It's like, no, like you want somebody that's running with you as much as you are. So that has been a blessing for us. I think the original hires that we made were the biggest blessing that we've had.
Kasie, I really want to ask you about Hillstone, your experience that you alluded to, 9 years at this company. You know, I think people look at y'all's success and they, you know, Johnny's talked a lot about the food, and I don't think I've ever heard you talk about Hillstone and what you learned from that company that is like really crazy efficient and successful and well run. That's the reputation I know, at least. And
sure.
Tell me about that experience and what you learned.
Yeah, you know, I mean, being with them for 9 years, first and foremost, they're family owned and operated company. They're privately held. They have, you know, I think 43 restaurants right now, and it's owned by a husband and wife and their 5 kids, you know, help. But just the standards that they instill, the level of consistency and the level of excellence, like on a daily basis with the small things to the big things. There's no other restaurant group in the world. I mean, listen, when I first met Johnny, I was like, have you been to Hillstone? He was like, it's a chain. I'm like, it's like from a culinary standpoint, I can totally understand why you would say that. But the consistency and just the practices from a culinary standpoint and a service standpoint, you have to go. And he went, and like, I think I made him a believer, no?
Yeah.
You know, so it's just the way you do anything is how you do everything with them, and just what it instills in you with people and hiring practices. And, you know, they can be super extreme with stuff. And I think Johnny and I are the same way. You know, like we're doing an interview, and there's a new employee, and I had interviewed this employee. I thought they were great, hired them. Mm-hmm. They get hired, they're there for a couple months, and they reintroduce themselves to the owner, and the owner's like, hey, nice to meet you. And they had already met. And she tells them like, oh, we actually already met. And, you know, he's like, hey, I really want to talk about that. And like, we talked about it basically the entire lunch we had, how that might not, it's everything we do is about how you make people feel inside. That's hospitality. And reintroducing yourself or reaffirming, hey, I already met you to somebody is rude, is going over the top, is too much. So it's like those tiny things, or taking a drink of water during an interview, or not putting the, you know, lemon or lime at 3:00 because you use your right hand to squeeze it. Like those small things that I think most people just in the industry overlook or don't care about, or like slamming a cooler door, right? When you open a bar fridge. That's something that Johnny hates the sound of, right? It's too much. The guest hears it, and they might not realize, but in their subconscious, they do. Like, that's a Johnny thing. That was a Hillstone thing, and he didn't know that, you know? So just those small details that get ingrained in you about hospitality. And I'll go back to, I always say this, it's at the bottom of every one of our training manuals. People forget what you wear, the car you drove, what you said, how you said it, but they never forget how you make them feel. And that's not a Hillstone messaging, but it is. And like every single thing that they do. I'm so fortunate to have spent the time that I did there. I can't say enough good things about the group.
That's so funny to me. My boss recently shared almost that exact phrase with me as a good guidance of how to work with people. I wonder if they have the same source of management training or something.
Potentially. But
it's true. I mean, it's true.
Yep.
It's just the details of the words that sometimes don't matter as much as exactly how you made them feel. Johnny, what was that like going to Hillstone the first time? I got to ask you about that. I mean, because the chain thing, that's interesting to me.
It was good. I mean, there's something about going to a restaurant and getting exactly what you would expect, right? Because that doesn't always happen. You can walk into a gastropub today and get sushi and tacos, which those are not food from a gastropub, right? But when you walk into Hillstone, you know exactly what you're going to get. You know the style of food that they're doing. You can smell what they're going to serve you. You walk in and you're like, their rotisserie chicken and their steak is going to be amazing, or their shrimp cocktail or whatever it is. So going for the first time, obviously knowing that was Kasie's school and like she had been there for a long time, was like, okay, like I want to see this. And then you walk in and I don't think there's a more consistent or better restaurant in the country when it comes to what Hillstone's doing, right? And now I've been to probably 20 Hillstones all over the country in the past 4 years. Mm-hmm. But everywhere that we go, like you go to Beverly Hills, you go to New York, you go anywhere, and it's like there's something about like, I know that if I'm going to go to Hillstone, it's not a meal that's wasted. It's a meal that's going to be exactly what you expect. It's going to be great because they really know how to execute. And hospitality is at 100%. I mean, nobody makes a better martini than them either. So it's like, it was just all those things. And I got to learn about it. I think Hillstone was one of the first times that I was like, there's another restaurant that we went to and I was like, man, a restaurant at a large scale can also be amazing and good. It doesn't have to be 50 seats for it to be perfect. It can be 500, but if you're doing everything correctly, it can also be amazing. So I think that's what Hillstone does, and Hillstone does that nationwide. So it's great.
And they have 2 locations in Denver, for the record. For anyone's interested who maybe hasn't given these places a second thought, that was me until I had a similar conversation what you all described. But there's one place called Hillstone in Cherry Creek. It's packed all the time. And then there's another one that is under the Hillstone brand owned by them, but it's called Cherry Creek Grill. Also very good. But so is that your goal? Like, are you guys trying to build a Hillstone? Is that what Fonda Fina Hospitality in 10 years is?
No, I think our goal was never to be where we are today. Actually, if you would have set this goal 4 years ago, people would have laughed and been like, you guys are crazy. You get your first one open and then worry about staying open, and then you can think about a second one. But no, I think like I said, the opportunities I have came in Austin and even the 5 here, right? Like Milpero and Kozobi, Mezcaleria. It was, man, it's opportunities that come. And at one point you look like, I remember opening the second restaurant and it was not because of me. I mean, I was the happiest chef at Alma in my station, cooking for everybody, talking to the guests about what Mexican food is every single day. But you have a team of 12, right? And that team of 12, just like Johnny is the chef and he wants to grow, the sous chef wants to grow, the chef de partie wants to grow, the essay wants to be a server. And we did it. It was more of them being like, chef, like, we got it. Like, we should do another one and I'll be able to grow. I always say, as long as we can still continue to bring awareness to Mexico, as long as you guys continue to come to the restaurant to like feel it, touch it, learn about it, then why wouldn't I do it?
Johnny, you mentioned earlier, like you're watching young chefs come up and you have all these things that you've learned. I'd love to ask both of you, there's one young chef in particular who is in the headlines today, has a new restaurant opening. His name's Luis Carlos Alvarado. The restaurant's called El Tule. Literally today I read about this new place opening. What would your advice be for him? Kasie, how about you?
Mine would be just, don't take yourself too serious. Have fun. If this, we say all the time, people are like, how many restaurants, how long are you going to do this? But we're going to do it until it's not fun anymore. Like, it's still so fun creating a new brand, creating a new concept, opening in a different city. It's still so fun. I think my advice is just don't take yourself too serious and make sure you're having fun. Because if you're not, it's all pretty pointless.
Johnny, how about you?
I think for me, it would be listen to the people that tell you that it's possible. Listen to the people that are in your corner, but I would say listen more to the haters. Listen to the ones that are telling you that you're going to fail. Listen to the ones that are telling you that it's stupid. Listen to the ones that called you stupid before and prove them wrong, because you have to believe in yourself. And it happened to me. So just fucking push as hard as you can, and don't let the hate or don't let any of those things tear you down, because it's easy in the world that we live in today to find yourself in those things and almost get in your head too much. But it's like, listen, I've been through it. I was called stupid. I was many things, right? I've gotten everything in the book, I think, now. And it's like, those things make you stronger. And if you believe in yourself, if you have the right partner on your side, if your household is good, if that, nothing else matters. Like the numbers of the restaurant, everything will work itself out. And just be respectful to your team. Show them that you care. Show that you appreciate what you're doing, and it will all work itself out. I've heard about El Tule. I haven't been able to be in, but I've seen it in a couple things pop up, and it's super interesting. And it's not in, I think it's more south than we are. And it's like, that's to make an impact over there and to do it, like, please. And if he's listening, if he ever wants to have coffee, if he wants to shoot a text, like, more than happy to share what we've gone through, not because we know better or because we don't know enough, but because it's always good to surround yourself with people that are willing to share things good and bad.
Johnny, you're speaking my language with the haters. That's like kind of become a point of pride for me. I love listening to the people with the harshest criticism. Like, sometimes they're right. Sometimes you really need to hear stuff, and those people are actually like telling a little bit of the truth sometimes. Yeah. All right. So last question for both of you, a fun small one. I just want to hear a recommendation, but from a place that's not one of your places. That's the only restriction. A dish or a restaurant that in Denver where listeners might be able to go get a great meal. Each of your recommendations. Johnny?
Damn, for me, it's easy.
Go for it.
For me, it's easy. It's Molino Chido. We talked about it, Chef Michael Diaz de Leon. I think what he's doing speaks 100% to who he is. It's not just another restaurant. It's a restaurant with the story behind it. It's a restaurant with the team behind it. He's got Oaks, he's got Birdie, he's with Tommy Lee, right? Like, that's his partner. It's like, that's a restaurant that has everything that a great restaurant should have. It's got people that care. It's got people that have a story. It's got people that want to share good food. Man, I don't get tired of talking about it. I think it's definitely one of the best restaurants in the city, and it's some of the best people in this whole industry. So for me, it's number one.
You got a menu, Rec? What should people order?
I get the Gringa al Pastor, but that's just me because I love Gringas al Pastor. But everything, we were just there for an event, for a soccer party, actually, for the World Cup. And
nice.
We got a spread. We got the tacos. We got the Gringa al Pastor. You get the ceviche. You get the crudos. Everything. He has a new empalme on his menu that went onto his tasting menu, I think, last week. And it's like, God damn, like, that is so you. Like, if somebody gave me this at a gas station, I would be like, Michael cooked this. So yeah, I think everything at Molino.
I love that. I'm sure he could do the same for you. That's I love that. You know, I have to say, Wednesday night, Mexico is playing Czech Republic World Cup.
Yes.
So when this episode is airing tonight, sounds like there might be a fun watch party over at Molino Chido.
Yes, I think there is.
Kasie, how about you? A restaurant or a dish that's not from one of your places?
That's so hard because it would definitely be top 10 from one of our restaurants, dish-wise. But I'll say right now, Hirtik, Chef Theo just opened it over in Rhino, and they hand make all the sausage. They've got a sausage and oyster plate that's really great. And I think, he had a restaurant in Lyons, Marigold, for so long and ran it every day and was so just content with perfecting that. And I think he finally, ventured out to Denver. And I think the Denver community is just really excited about it, and just a really great concept and a cute space.
I've been seeing so much buzz about that place. I will say, I have to say, it's been a little bit controversial though, because it came up on the podcast before a few weeks ago. He has a dish that's like tuna tartare on a hard-boiled egg, and it costs $18.
One of the best things you'll put in your mouth. Pay the $18.
I'd pay $36 for it. 18 and a
Get
half.
2 orders. Okay.
Get 2.
Yeah, no, it's awesome, and it's tuna. Tuna's not cheap, and it's
right.
I get it. It's an egg with tuna, but it's like, man, people are going to other restaurants and paying $24 for a tartare. It's the same ounceage of tuna. It's like, I just think sometimes people look too deep into like, oh, but it's a egg or it's this or it's that. It's like, man, like I always talk about tortillas, right? It's like, it takes 2 days to make one tortilla. Yes, the taco is going to be $6, $7, $8. Like, it's not like we're just pulling them out of a bag. Like, it's look at what's going behind it and appreciate what they're doing. I think that's the one thing right now. I think a lot of people are looking at the pricing in the wrong way, and not because they don't understand, not because they don't care, probably because they don't understand. But it's like you said, it's not easy to run a restaurant right now. And if they don't feel like spending $18 on an egg with tuna, don't do it. It's fine. Just don't knock it. That's what I'm saying.
That is such a, I mean, that's why it's a hot topic, because the restaurant industry is struggling. But this affordability thing, we haven't really touched it. I do wonder, I mean, you all are known for kind of being like, you know, the tippy top, you know, the best of the best. You know, you're going out for a nice dinner and you're gonna pay for it. You know, maybe a lot of people think it's good value. You got a lot of awards, but it's expensive. Do you ever think about opening a place that's like cheaper and more accessible, more affordable?
I think if anybody goes to our restaurants, actually the one word, and if you can look at all of our reviews, is value, because we're not expensive. I mean, you can go to Alma with 2 people and spend $120 and leave full, like really full. So it's like, no, I don't like on the value side. I think we have a lot of value, but you can also go and spend $500 if you want, right? That's up to you. You can do whatever you want. But no, I don't think does it cross your mind to do a taqueria? Does it cross your mind to do like a brunch place? Yeah, of course. But no, not in the plans currently, but who knows? I mean, there's so many badass taquerias out there. There's so many good spots that are doing that. So like I feel like everybody's got their things that they're doing and they're really good at. So like, let them shine. And I talk about Panaderia El Alamo on Morrison and Alameda. Man, you want some of the best Mexican food that it's like your grandma, your hole in the wall. Panaderia El Alamo is right there. And I will hashtag them on my Instagram and send people there. I love it. So I think there's room for everybody.
Well, you two, thank you so much for doing this. Johnny and Kasie Curiel, it's been a joy having you here. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you. Thanks, Paul. It's been great.
Thank you very much, Paul. I appreciate it.
Hey, Bree here with Elizabeth Martinez, real estate broker at Compass. Elizabeth, welcome back to CityCast Denver.
It's great to be here, Bree.
So, what neighborhood are we talking about today?
We are heading over to the Greater Park Hill.
Ooh, beautiful. Okay, let's start it off. What is your favorite piece of history that you like to share about Park Hill?
It's amazing because it went through all phases of house discrimination and change. It went through exclusion with covenants. It went through institutional redlining. That's where banks would not loan to certain areas of town. There went through blockbusting and white flight, where basically real estate agents were scaring people out of the neighborhood. And then there was intentional integration, which was amazing. They actually had neighbors sign contracts that they wouldn't leave and would do mixers to introduce people. Now we are in the modern gentrification era.
Yeah, it's definitely a complex story here with Park Hill. It's one of the more diverse neighborhoods. I guess when you describe Park Hill, like, does it have a more urban or suburban feel when you walk around a neighborhood?
It's definitely suburban because it was built to be suburbia. It was built after City Park and Congress Park, which were smaller lots, and they definitely promoted this area as having the 6250 double lots. So it was promoted as a suburban alternative to the city.
Oh, that's interesting, because I do think of it almost as a little bit historic sometimes when I think about it, because the houses over there are so beautiful and not what I would think of like a 50s or 60s suburb. Some of the houses are older than that. It's a gorgeous neighborhood. What kind of buyer would gravitate towards Park Hill?
It's those people that appreciate classical architecture and mature trees. I mean, when you drive down the street and you just have these lush, mature trees with the canopy, it's just gorgeous. And then people that appreciate diversity of cultures, to be honest, with the rich history, but also there's just a multitude of cultural, but also social economic because it does have those 1950s homes. When we're talking about the greater Park Hill area, it goes all the way from Colfax to I-70 and from Colorado to Quebec. Now, those areas change. So as soon as you cross over 23rd going north, you're in Park Hill North, whereas south of 23rd is Park Hill South. And then north of MLK is northeast Park Hill, even though it's more north. And then once you cross over Monaco, it changes again. So there's different demographics, we'll say, of homes as well in those different sectors.
Well, that's a perfect segue into this question then. Like, what is the price range for a home in a neighborhood like Park Hill that is pretty wide and diverse?
You can get condos on 41st and Albion, very low starter in the 200s or 300s. And then you get all the way up to the huge mansions on Montview and on 17th Avenue Parkway and Forest Parkway. Those are those literal streets that have parks in the middle. And those homes can be in the 2 million range. But you can get anything in between. So you can get a more modest bungalow or a Tudor or even a 1950s ranch for like 400 to, let's say, 650.
That's cool. That's a really nice way to think about it. There's all these different avenues and entry points for a beautiful neighborhood like Park Hill. Something I want to ask you about, I think, before we go is how Park Hill has changed over the last few years, especially with development happening along Colfax and the surrounding neighborhoods. Is the community still as tight-knit, even with these big changes?
That is the beauty of Park Hill, is that the neighbors definitely rally together. So before I jumped on this, I had conversations with people that lived in the neighborhood because I don't live there. And, they talk about the Facebook groups and how they rally for these, restaurants and shops on Colfax that are dealing with BRT. Now, granted, gentrification is happening like everywhere, but I do still think that people rally and try to stay within the neighborhood is what I've always noticed about people that live in Park Hill. They move there as young families for the schools like Park Hill Elementary and East High School, and then they just never leave. Like they upsize to a bigger home and then they downsize to a smaller home, but they don't leave because they do love the community, which is so amazing.
Well, Elizabeth, thank you so much for sharing this and thank you for being here. Again, check out elizabethmartinez.co to learn more. We'll have a link for you in the show notes as well, so you're just a click away. Thanks for listening.
That's all for today here on CityCast Denver. If you enjoyed the show, why not take a minute to tell Luis Carlos Alvarado of El Tule about us? He's going to want to hear this one. You can also rate the show wherever you get your podcasts. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at CityCast Denver, and subscribe to our morning newsletter at denver.citycast.fm. You can support the show and get great perks by becoming a CityCast Denver neighbor today at membership.citycast.fm. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. See you then.